Gallows and Anderson used the Magic Killer, and Anderson pinned Wilder. Scott Dawson then got in Hall's face, and Hall threw a toothpick at him. Waltman gave Dawson the X Factor. Road Dogg gave him a series of punches, and Gunn gave him the famouser to lay him out. Wilder then got up and went after Gunn, but got super kicked by Michaels, and Triple H laid him out with a pedigree.
Hey, which one is Wilder? What? Seriously, which one is Wilder's the one with hair or the one that's bald?
That'd be the hair.
Wilder has the hair. Okay. So Sean kicked him, super kicked him, bing bang boom.
Yeah, Cash Wilder. Yeah.
What happened
one
next?
With the mullet. Then they all told Balor to go to the top rope, and Balor delivered the coup de grace on Wilder. So this is where the real story begins, dog. What were the Revival like when everything is being put together? Was there any issues there?
No, there weren't.
Okay.
Like, and that's just all there is to it. Like, there wasn't any issues. Like, we put the stuff together. They were right there for it. They did great. It was awesome. And I guess I got caught up in my own personal moment and didn't thank the guy or something. I don't know. I don't know when the story begins. Hopefully you'll fill me in. That's how much I know of it anyway. But yeah, there wasn't any issues. We all felt like, okay, yeah, should we do this? Should you do that? I feel like everybody got their crap in. Like, that was what it was all about, right? And I'm sorry if putting you guys in that position was problematic for y'all. They didn't say that then, you know.
FTR went on Cornette's podcast about the Raw 25 segment. He said, we thought we were Hunter's guys because we worked so hard for so long to make NXT mean something. We believed in NXT and Hunter, said Dax. Raw 25 came along and we had heard rumblings of what we were doing. When we found out, it broke my heart. That was when Hunter and the Clique came out and ran through me and Cash. They hit us with every one of their finishers. We came to the back and I punched a brick wall. I started flipping out. Cash grabbed me and was like, it's okay. It'll be all right. I was in tears, not because I was sad, but because I was so upset and hurt. A guy we had so much respect for, and we still do. We couldn't believe he would allow that to happen to us. On the flip side, it's not his company. He doesn't call the shots. Vince calls the shots. A lot to digest here. Cash said, it wasn't the actual segment. It was the comments before and after. Obviously, we're out there to do a job for these guys and make them look good. It felt like they didn't respect us and what we were about to do. We couldn't get a handshake or a thank you. Dax then added, X-Pac said thank you. Everyone else walked right past us. That really hurt us. I can't say anyone loses faith in Hunter. I'm not sure we lost faith in Hunter that day as much as we lost faith in the company. All right, here we go. Do you think these guys took things a little too seriously?
100%.
Okay.
They took it personally. And so I said this on the past podcast. I apologize for not thanking you guys. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I also mean from the bottom of my heart, if it hurt you so bad to do that you went back and punched a wall and cried, like, I just feel like you need to reevaluate what's going on in your world. Like, the fact that you got in there and were involved in that moment, but because I didn't thank you or something, like I don't know. Maybe I'm not hearing it all right and I'm not grasping it all right, or maybe I don't understand the situation y'all were in. But for me, I thought it was a cool spot and a cool moment. And just because you guys are really good wrestlers doesn't mean you can't go out there and do honors or favors or whatever you think it is for the us guys that made it happen 25 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand it. And so it baffles me. And to hear him say that he went back and cried after that, like, holy mackerel, that hurts my heart. It hurts me. But not because it hurts me, because of where your head's at, dude. Like, it's okay, man. It's phony baloney wrestling, and you're making a good living at it. But guess what? When you're not, nobody cares anymore. So just be a good person and do what you can do, and that's where that's how we're gonna roll. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I've never lived my life that way, and I pray I never will. Like, it's okay to be passionate and want your stuff to be good, but your stuff that night was to bump around for us and put us over, and you did great at it. And now, 25 years later, or however 5 years later, we find out that it was a big deal. And it was like, I don't know, man. I didn't see it that way. And I apologize that I'm sorry that you did. That's all I can say on it, you know?
Let me ask you this, just to kind of get more background.
Yeah.
And I want to say you and Billy, but I don't want to put words in his mouth too. But
yeah.
How many times, what percentage do you think you went after a match in your career and thanked the other guys for if you went over? I mean, is that
yeah, that's something you do.
50,
yeah,
50?
yeah. No, it happens all the time. It does happen all the time. And so had I been in a match with those guys, I'd have probably said that. It was just a different scenario and a different setup, and it was all about us, and it was all about, and that's how it was designed. And you know, that maybe that's the hurtful part, is their feelings and their thoughts weren't included. And I get that, if that's the case. I understand that. But did you think they were going to be when you're in there with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and Hunter Hearst? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even take me out of it, take Billy out of it, take Kid out of it. Those people that were in there, and like, holy mackerel, man, it was an honor for me to stand in the ring. They could have hit me with a super kick all day long, and I'd have laid flat as a lizard drinking. You know what I mean? And we could have shot the streamers off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what. It's so unfathomable to me that it blows my mind that we're having this conversation. And that's the truth. It blows my mind that we're having the conversation about somebody's feelings being hurt after the. And I realize it's a different day and age, and I realize I'm an older guy and started in an older generation. But man, it's just different. I don't know if Buzz Sawyer would have said he got hurt by Tommy not after the bloodbath, the cage in Atlanta. You know, Tommy didn't thank him, so Hacksaw's all mad about it. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy talk to me, and I'm sorry I can't wrap my head around it.
I think it was interesting. They hit us with their finishers, and we came back, and he was saying about what was going to happen for them and what they were about to do. I mean, you look at them now. It's not like anybody went, "Hey guys, they took everybody's finisher. We don't believe in them anymore."
No, that's what I'm talking about.
They were involved in a big segment,
and they're still huge in wrestling.
That's what I mean.
They got a bunch of tag titles, and it didn't affect them at all. All. Not one iota. And that's what I want everyone, including them, to realize. It doesn't matter, man. It's phony baloney wrestling. If you think the titles around your waist make you the best wrestlers in the world, I'm done having a conversation with you, because I ain't got nothing else I can say. You know what I mean? It's not about that. You guys are great at what you do. You're great at it. And you, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say on the subject.
Let me read one more, and then we'll get out of here. We'll move on to the rest of Raw 25. Dax went on Renee Young's podcast and said this: "As a kid, I chose Brett over Shawn, then NXT. Shawn came on board, and he was a teacher. He was a big fan of me and Cash. We got injured. Cash broke his jaw when Kenta gave him the go to sleep. Maybe 2 weeks later, I gave Sheamus a lifter, and I tore my bicep. I went through a real bad phase then. Man, this is not going to work for us. This is a run of bad luck. We came back to TV, and at Raw 25, we were booked to do the deal with Hunter and his friends where they just beat us up. I was so upset because for a lot of guys, it's just a paycheck. Who cares? Not to me. There's a legacy I want to leave. That happened, and I talked to Shawn. It was the first time we talked since the PC days. I told him this happened. I tore my bicep. I went through a really dark period, and I thought I was going to quit. Thankfully, I have the greatest wife in the world. She supported me and brought me out of this funk and out of a dark place. and I'm here now and was super happy. He said, I was the same way. I was in a very dark spot, and my wife, she's beautiful. She pulled out of this dark spot too. That's so awesome. You and your partner are way too talented to be doing what you're doing tonight, and way too talented to stay at this point. Just keep your nose to the ground and keep grinding, and you're going to get over. I said, oh man, Sean, thank you so much. We had this bonding moment. Then we got in front of his friends, X-Pac, Hunter, Billy, Road Dogg, and Scott. As soon as we got in front of his friends, he started making fun of me and my situation and what happened with the bicep. Man, I just poured my heart out to you, and as soon as we get in front of your friends, as we're going over them beating the shit out of us, you decide to take all that stuff and make fun about it. I never, ever forgot it, and as soon as we were done with the business of Raw, one person said, thank you, that was Sean Waltman. Everyone else was so cold to us and treated us like we were just the shit of the bottom of their shoes, except for Waltman. I'll never forget that with Sean, and I hope there's a day where we can sit down and have a conversation where I can ask him why he did that and why we can reconcile if he wants to. If I love you, I love you. If I don't, I don't, he said. Dogg, have you talked to anyone else about this since this, a few weeks ago became a huge online controversy?
Not one time.
Do you think Sean would like to make amends with him?
I don't think Sean thinks there's any amends to be made.
Okay.
And so here's what I want to say. People are people. People do what people do. The world does not revolve around you. Like, it happens around you. And how you perceive it and how you react to what happens around you, that's what you can control. And it seems to be that you've taken everything that happened around you extremely personal. And I don't think any of the people around you meant it in any way, shape, or form like you think they meant it, and meant it how you took it. And you've taken this and you've blown it up in your head for 5 years now, and you've made it something when it was nothing, and it still is nothing. And you guys are still multiple-time tag team champions of in America, internationally, on top of the world in tag team wrestling. Nothing happened. It's over. It's been done. It's been gone. Nobody remembers it except you. And you keep bringing it back up because it's bothering you. It bothered you. And I for me, honestly, for my part, I am sorry that anything I did has bothered you so much that we're still talking about it today. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I don't think Sean would want to sit down and talk, because I think it's ridiculous that he would have to do that. Like, sometimes you get around your buddy and you go, look at that, and you poke fun and you do, and we're having a conversation and nobody means nothing by it. But such and such got his feelings hurt. So I don't know. I don't know what to. The more we talk about it, the more dumbfounded I get that's where we're at, and that's where that's the conversation we're at. But here's how I feel, and this is the one. This is gonna really make some people mad because I'm an old, decrepit, bitter man. But he spoke like a fan and not like a wrestler. He spoke like I was a Brett guy, not a Sean guy. But then Sean was going to help me, and Sean said this, but then here Sean was mean. And then it was all, man, just, he spoke like a fan and not like one of the boys. One of the boys would have came up to us and said, hey, thank y'all, man. It was, and we would have whatever. The fact, I don't know, man. I'm so dumbfounded right now. Let's move on, because I really am. I don't know what to say, and anything I say is not going to be nice. And so don't say nothing at all. That's the old saying.